Oh hey, folks, Yeti here. Bigfoot couldn't make it. So in my last video, I realized after watching it, because I don't really edit it, I just spliced it together. But I realized the camera cut off and missed a whole bunch of stuff. So what I'm gonna do is take you through the stuff that you missed, which is some of the parts that I'm using. So I don't remember if I covered it or not, but I'm using knee saver bars, which don't look like forklifter bars, until you stick a forklifter shaped number plate on it. And then that achieves the look that I'm going for. Forklifter bars. So I had to resize this and to make the triangle shape fit the knee saver bars. There was some manipulation going on, so it's not an actual knee saver size, plate. And this is just paper. We're gonna make the plate maybe here in a minute. Stickers. So I've got the BFD Buff Freestyle Division Focus, and the Duker sticker. But I think since this isn't actually an RL22 and I'm just going for the look, I think I'm gonna redo these to say something else. It'll still be this style of lettering, but it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be mine. What else do I have here? I've got, the gearing on my wheels, which I'll cover in a minute, are different because the wheels were for racing back in the day, and I had different gears on them. So in order to, the freewheel is a 14 tooth. So in order to match or come close to what a regular 44/16 gear is, the front is a 39, and I've got a Flight look-alike type sprocket that I found, I think, on BMX Guru. It's a Neptune BMX made in the USA. So there's that. For the cranks themselves, I got some newer Redline flight cranks. They're not the old school ones. These are the new style Focus. Double pinch. They're just 175s because I'm not trying to race with this bike. But the bear trap pedals, I got these. These are my 3S pedals. I'm just kidding. They're SE bear trap pedals. So thank you, Todd Lyons. I just got a regular chrome seat post. Black plastic Dominator seat. Bunch of gyro cables. I got these Cool Stop brake pads that are clear because I was reading on the forums that the clear brake pads give you the best stopping power and the less slippage. So I've actually got a set that are going to go on my Lineage Master as well. The brakes are just the brakes that were on my Haro Shredder, but they were black, so I stripped them all down to be silver, polished them up as best I could, and then we're going to go with a new modification. These things will operate kind of like a V brake. So you know how the front brakes, they go, you pull the cable up into here and then tie it off on the other end, or the housing up in here and tie it off on the other end. But that works because it's coming from the bottom and it curves around that way. Well, I want that on my rear brakes too. And that's a whole nother video that I can explain the physics behind it. If you've got a setup like that where you've got U-brakes front and rear, and the U-brakes on the rear are still split into 2 cables, why, tell me why your front brake feels like you got more stopping power than your rear brake. It's a whole physics lesson. I'll tell you about it sometime. But I'm doing that on the rear, and I took this little bridge piece off of a V-brake. Focus, man, focus, focus. So that I can get that desired effect on my rear brake. So, and then the wheels. All right. So these wheels, these are chrome double wall 48 spoke sealed bearing 48 spoke. I said that already. Wheels, the TNT revolver hubs. I had these made by Dan's Comp around 2000-ish. And I think they're not stamped anywhere, but I think these rims were Arrayas. Maybe when I polish them back up, because they've got a little bit of they're not corroded yet, but they need cleaned up and polished. But these were on my trails / race bike. It was a standard 125 with a U-brake, and I rode trails and raced. So I had some heavier duty wheels for trails. And when I got more into racing and less into trails, I got some 36 spoke wheels. I ended up letting my buddy Justin have these. And that was like 25 years ago. So recently got back in touch with Justin. We reconnected. We've had lunch. We're texting and stuff. And he graciously, he still had these and let me have them back. So I'm going to use them because these are the closest thing that I'm going to get to Peregrine HP 48s. So I got the stickers that I'm going to put on here and on the rim to make them look like that, even though they're TNT revolver hubs, if you can see that in there. So those are my rims. And then one other little piece, because it's a 14 millimeter axle slot on the frame, I got these 14 millimeter axle nut adapters, but they're aluminum. I thought they were going to be steel. I think these came from Pork Chop as well. But I had aluminum nuts on my race bike for 20 years before they stripped out, so we're going to give these a shot. All right. So, for my number plate, no parking. This is like, I don't know, $3 or $4 at Walmart. And then I printed on clear sticker paper the number plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this on the sign and then cut it out. So I got to make some room, and then I'll show you how I'm going to put them on here. All right, let me move some stuff around. These are all my gyro cables. I've got, I ordered a new gyro cable, but it's too short. And then the extra one I had off an old bike is too long. So that was one more thing that I got, is I got some NARPs. So I'm just gonna take the long one and adjust it to what I need. So let's move this on down in here so you can see what I'm doing. So I need a rag. Of course, I'm unprepared. All right, so we still recording? Yeah. Just gonna wipe that off a little bit. And then I printed it on the wrong side first. So as I'm trying to get this sticker backer paper off, where I live, 20 minutes from where I live, is putting in a new pump track. It's gonna have a like a 6-pack rhythm section in it, which is really cool. And I was down there talking. There we go. My son had soccer practice, and I was checking it out, and somebody saw me. They came over and they were talking about it, and we were talking about how all of the vintage parts and bikes are ungodly expensive. And so that's why I'm making an RL22 tribute out of a Haro Shredder. Because an RL22 frame on eBay or even Marketplace is $2,500. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, let's get back into here. Try not to mess this up. Can you see that all right? Can you see that? Yeah, all right. So, see how this looks. Try and get it on here straight. No wrinkles. Oh, there's a wrinkle. Damn it. And this. What the hell happened there? All right, the ink's already rubbing off on this stuff, which is great. Not really, but I've got a plan for that. All right, and then here's the other part. See if I can get this lined up. That's pretty close. All right, that'll work. Now, since the paint was coming off, let me find my sheets. They're not here anywhere to be found. So I guess I'm gonna have to be careful as I cut this not to damage the ink anymore. Tin snips is what I found. Cuts this plastic pretty well. And so here we go. Just a little bit at a time. Stay on the line. I tried with my paper cutter machine, but it's not heavy duty enough to cut this thick plastic. But the tin snips are. Alright, that's trash. 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 Alright. I guess the good part about the ink coming off that sheet, which I'll cover with another sheet, is that it's got an old used look, even though my paint and stickers are new. I guess that doesn't really match, but whatever. We're going for a general aesthetic here, not a perfect replica. So, as I'm cutting this, my next project, I mean, it's probably going to be a while before I get this done, but my next project is a 19 86, I believe, hazard yellow 600C that I found on Marketplace. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Said this is a one take. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. See how that looks. Can you still see what I'm doing here? Ooh. Yeah. All right. Which very closely resembles the 500B that I had, which was my very first brand name BMX bike. When I was, I don't know, 11 or 12. I'd have to do the math on the years. But it's the frame, fork, and the 600C was all chromoly. The 500B was tri-moly, and it was a solid hazard yellow, solid yellow fork. The 600C it's all chromoly, and it's chrome fork and chrome seat and chain stays. But other than that, it looks just like, I think, what I had. I'll have to get some pictures to actually compare it, if I can find some pictures of what I had back then. There might be some floating around. But, so yeah, it's basically the closest thing I'm going to get to my childhood bike. So I snagged it. So it's a frame, fork, handlebars, stem, cranks, sprocket, seat post, seat clamp, and the guy had a purple Cashamax seat that matches the purple in the graphics. It basically has the same graphics as this one. And so I snagged it up, and I'm on the fence about restoring it. I think I want to keep the old look, or like the worn look, the patina. If you know about, which side's that on? I can't see. Anyway, the patina, I think I want to keep it, but remove all the rust. Carefully remove the stickers, because the stickers are about gone. New stickers, but keep the patina of the paint and clean up the chrome as best I can, and just get it rideable. Obviously, a bike that old and that small, I'm not really doing anything on, but it looks cool. I'll hang it on the wall. If where I live has any of those old school bike ride outs that the old guys like to do, I ride it in something like that. But that's my next project. And then after that, I think, so I've got some other cheaper bikes that I got off of Marketplace for like $15 and $20. And they're, I don't know, they're department store bikes. One's a Mongoose, and it's decent. But what I want to do is take these bikes and refurbish them and make them look like 80s bikes. So I'll take that Mongoose. It's like a FS something, not like the FS1 from back in the day, but maybe that's what I make it look like. An FS1 or Decade, you know, the mint green Decade from back in the day. All right, so here we go. Actual plastic number plate. Da-da-da. Which I'm going to have to put another layer of clear over to go on my handlebars. Now, how am I going to attach these handlebars, or this number plate? There's no tabs, but the old school Redlines had, the forklifter bars had the tabs on here, and you could just bolt your number plate to it. Well, what I'm going to do is, I found these reflectors off those old bikes that are the right diameter to fit around the bar. So I'm going to cut that reflector off and use this as the mount for the number plates, similar to how the forklifters used to be in the old days. So I've got my handy dandy hacksaw that was just here. Yeah. Handy dandy hacksaw. I'm going to cut one of these off. Nothing fancy here. Nothing precision or sexy about this. And this hacksaw isn't very sharp. So, I'll tell you what, it's been about 20 minutes. You're probably tired of hearing me talk. So, I'm gonna figure out something to cut these with, and I'll show you the results next time. Thanks for watching. Yeti out.